Welcome, folks. So today's topic is an idea I've been wanting to do for a while, and since I'm stalling to write the Masaki What If Part 3, this is a good stopgap. So the criteria for this list is simple. I took a look at the Zanpakuto and I wanted to determine which of them was just the most difficult to use. By difficult to use, I mean a combination of how much expertise it takes to use the type of weapon it is and becomes, and what drawbacks present themselves when using said Zanpakuto. So essentially, if I could pick up and use any Zanpakuto regardless of power or special requirements, how hard of a time would I have actually using it? Remember to like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share if you're feeling so inclined. Let's go. So I want to start with an honorable clarification. Kyōkotsu Igetsu. It's not difficult to use despite what my fellow Aizen stands will tell you. Kyōkotsu Igetsu allows you to put someone under perfect illusions where you control all 5 of their senses. It's not difficult to conjure up illusions when the Zanpakuto does most of the work. What makes Aizen impressive with it is how he implements it, controlling so many people with it at the same time, even in combat. But in a 1v1, 1v2, hell, even 1v5, it shouldn't be difficult to fight them when you control what they hear, touch, smell, and taste, and the most important for Reikaku, what you see. Sure, manipulating 10 or more people at once ain't easy, but that's not because of the Zanpakuto. It's just the situation. Actually, the Zanpakuto makes it easier to perform that feat, so it's not being included. Number 5, Sakanade and Sakashima Yokoshima Happafusugari. This may come as a surprise, but there seems to be some difficulty using Sakanade. With more than 100 years of time and experience as a captain, Shinji Hirako seems to be still training his Shikai to perform more and more crazy feats. And he even has to train himself outside of his Shikai to really master the technique. But that isn't the main reason it's here. It has to do with the ability to reverse things and how that can sometimes work against you at times in a fight. Reversing someone's perception of direction, words, and even inducing nausea is so useful in combat, it pretty much would even out most fights you're in, at the least. However, this also causes a bit of confusion for even the wielder. Now that the opponent would be confused once you use it, you, the opponent, now have to deal with an unpredictable fighter. In most 1v1 combat, rhythm and timing are key, but since you've thrown that off, you kind of don't know what to expect from your opponent. You need to take advantage immediately when you use this Zanpakuto. A good example is against Bambietta. Once she was confused, she just started throwing her bombs randomly up and down, left, right, all around, and Shinji couldn't capitalize on it. You saw that in the anime. Being able to turn your opponent's controller to inverted controls and off whenever you want is genius, but so long as you capitalize immediately. What's worse is the Bankai is so situational, it's only good when you're getting jumped and none of your allies are around. But overall, that Shikai's power is still powerful, and honestly could even be considered a Bankai level ability. That's why it won't go any higher. Number 4, Ikomikidomoe. I wasn't totally sold on using this because it's kind of a faux Zanpakuto, but we're going to move forward. So this one isn't difficult to understand. You need to be powerful to even wield the Zanpakuto and even be a hybrid. Aside from those circumstances making it already difficult to even grasp, the incomplete Zanpakuto is naturally predatory, as the Zanpakuto is basically just a hollow in a sundae hat. It has its own will, and its will is to eat, and that includes the wielder. It has so many abilities that essentially you'd win any fight you're in using its 3 different forms and abilities within those forms. It has a massive upside. The danger, however, is fighting someone in equal stature to yourself. If you run low on spirit energy, you run the risk of it turning on you and eating or possessing you. It's a very unwieldy weapon, and it's crudely made. It seems, however, it takes really low spirit energy for this to happen, but it's not like Ikomikidomoe is a passenger on this ride. He's actively sometimes not supporting. It's honestly a surprise Hakone wielded this with any use at all. Number 3, Hozukimaru and Ryumun Hozukimaru. My goodness, what a brittle Zanpakuto. The reason this Zanpakuto is so high isn't just due to the brittle nature, it's also the style of the weapon. In Shikai, Hozukimaru is a spear that in and of itself makes it a superior weapon in open combat, especially in 1v1. However, the problem comes when it breaks apart into a 3-section staff/spear. That's not an easy weapon to use, especially so when training with a regular 3-part staff, when it isn't bladed, so now you gotta compensate for that. It gets worse in Bankai where you're forced to be either exclusively elusive or perfectly offensive. This is due to the fragility of the Bankai. Blocking attacks will lead to the Bankai easily breaking, and because its power is solely in its offense, a broken Bankai becomes less and less useful as they don't normally regenerate. What's made it worse is even fully offensive measures aren't completely safe, as counterattacks are a dangerous threat and has to be accounted for. Now the benefit is the actual attack power will grow as you fight, but that's almost nullified by the fact that you may not even last that long to use it. You need real expertise in this weapon to use it, and its brittle nature is too much of a detriment and requires too many compensations to be really useful. Number 2, Sode no Shirayuki and Haka no Togame. Some people are going to be surprised to see this one here because this Zanpakuto is so powerful. However, power does not equate to easy to use. With this one, there are abilities you can use that won't put you in danger, but the number one reason it's at number 2 is the fact to use this Zanpakuto's true power or full power, you put your life on the line. When it comes to using its ability to induce absolute zero on opponents, you have to first induce absolute zero on your own body. That is so dangerous. Although the body can survive it because of the nature of spirit energy and the fact that you're a Soul Reaper, it's not bad. However, warming yourself up is the issue. If you warm up too fast in Bankai, then you're likely to just die. You'll fall apart or become someone's special wedding decoration. In Shikai, this problem has more to do with getting your body down to that temperature at a decent enough rate that you can then bring yourself back up. If you fail in properly controlling your body temperature, it could kill you. That's worse than a brittle Zanpakuto, in my opinion. And it's not even like Rukia is a slouch in this department. She's really good with spirit energy control. Looking at her when she was a child in Rukongai, she was great with spirit energy control, and she's great with Kido. It's not like she is the problem. It's really just the issue currently with the Zanpakuto. And number 1, no one should be surprised, Katen Kyōkotsu and Katen Kyōkotsu Kawamatsu Shinju. Take Shinji Sakanade being able to turn on inverted controls on your controller, and essentially take the same concept and just basically only being allowed to use certain buttons on the controller, or not even being able to use the controller at all. This Zanpakuto takes children's games and creates preset rules of engagement for combat. This will always heavily put things in your favor. However, Katen Kyōkotsu also applies to yourself. And it's not always the most cooperative Zanpakuto either. And that's the main issue. 1, it's not cooperative. The games at any point could change and be something else. And sometimes the games may not be in your favor. You could get Iraoni, and honestly, the color readout might not be the best for you. That's what makes the Zanpakuto so hard to use. The fact that the games also could just change at any time. Now, when you get control of it, you could say, well, it's useful then. The other problem then becomes, even when you get full control of the Zanpakuto in its Shikai, the games still apply to you. Your opponent, once they learn the game, still has a chance to pull the game into their favor. It's not a perfect Zanpakuto. If you use it properly, it's amazing. You can completely keep your opponent off guard and off tilt. But if you can't, it's gonna bite you in the butt. Then when you look at the Bankai, it's not that it's situational, it's just that it's such a detriment. So you gotta be careful about harming your opponent when using the Bankai, because those wounds can come back to bite you later in stage 1. Stage 2, if you wounded your opponent, you run the risk of poisoning yourself, and that's dangerous. Then when you get to the 3rd stage of the Bankai, your Ryatsu is just draining from your body and you're both going to drown. Whoever has the most Ryatsu at that point is going to survive the Bankai, and it may not be you. Now the 4th stage is a guaranteed kill, which is cool, but you still got to get through the other 3 stages, and you can still die in those other 3 stages. It's just not likely to happen, but it's still difficult to use as far as any of the other Zanpakuto on this list goes. Alright. With that, let me know what you think of the list. Would you add or take away? Remember to like and subscribe, please, and check out some other videos on the channel. My viewership is all over the place. I'll get a 1K video, then a 6K video, but I have had videos in the past go 40K, so let's see if we can get those numbers a little more consistent, as I myself try to be more consistent with these posts. Alright, y'all have a good day. Bye.